So we're going into our 6th week of our adventure doing the RVing. We're the Yorkshirians doing the great road trip. And I just kind of wanted to go over a few of the issues that we've run across, or the Yorkshirians have run across. It's important to make sure that you have all the connections set up correctly and all the things that need to be lubed done so, and hooking up properly to the truck, and that in itself can be a task. Making sure that the inside of the trailer, everything is set so that nothing is going to fall on the floor or move around while you're hooked up to the truck and rolling, because things do move around and fall, and sometimes that's a bad thing, especially when it comes to moving the slides in and out. So that's a process to get that all done. Breaking down to hook up to the truck is yet another process. Got to make sure that all the connections get disconnected. Make sure that the tanks get emptied, both the gray tank and the black tank. On our particular RV, there's 2 gray tanks, one for the kitchen sink and one for everything else. The bath, the shower, the sinks in the bathroom, and for our combo washing machine. And you want to make sure when you're emptying those tanks that you empty the I believe it's the black tank first, and then you empty the gray tanks so that they will wash out the black tank as much as possible. I know that sometimes John goes through and fills up the gray tanks a little bit and washes out the black tank yet again so that it gets cleaned out as much as possible. So when we get to the next spot, it's just a matter of hooking up and we're good to go. We want to make sure that once again that you empty those tanks. If you don't empty the tank, the gray tanks, they run the risk of overflowing back into the trailer, thus the sink or the shower stall. And so it's very important to make sure those are taken care of. It's also very important to make sure that when you're hooking up at the new spot, that the hookups at the park are labeled correctly, so you can hook up, make sure you're hooking up to the right pipe, thus the sewer pipe, the water pipe, and etc. You want to make sure that you have your appropriate plugs for plugging in. 50 amp being the best, especially if you have 2 air conditioners like we do, and my God, we've been using them both these past few weeks because it's been crazy hot. It's been kind of a concern for the Yorkshirians. Make sure that they don't get overheated, so we kind of keep them inside in the cool air, only take them out for their breaks for the time being. So it's kind of slowed up the road trip because of the heat. You want to make sure that your canopies are taken care of. They're lubed properly so you can roll them in and out, and they're not making any noise or they don't get caught up in any way. The same is true for the slides. You want to make sure that the inside of the trailer is cleaned and nothing will get in the way of the slides when you're bringing them in. It can be a bit of a process getting hooked up to move and getting to the next site, but it's just part of the fun. It's part of learning, and it's something that we'll have many things to come up on us as we're rolling down the road, and I'm sure many struggles will come up with or will come against, and that we'll have to deal with. So anyway, stay tuned. I'm sure there's a lot more to come up.